Open your washing machine door right now. Go ahead, look at the rubber seal around the edge. If what you see makes you want to close it immediately and pretend you did not see it, you are not alone. Surveys suggest the washing machine is the one appliance people clean their clothes in every week without ever actually cleaning the machine itself. And for good reason. That black speckled ring building up inside the rubber gasket has been sitting there for months, maybe years, quietly touching every load of laundry you run. But here is what caught my attention. In Japan, that ring does not exist. And it is not because Japanese washing machines are different or because Japanese families do less laundry. It is because of a habit that turns machine maintenance from a gross surprise into something you can handle in about 2 minutes using nothing you do not already own. So why does the rest of the world only think about this when the smell finally gets bad enough to notice? Before we get into the actual method, we need to talk about what most people reach for once they finally notice the smell. Pick up a box of washing machine cleaning tablets at the store and flip it over to read the label. You will find ingredients like sodium percarbonate, sodium carbonate, and fragrance blends listed only as parfum. These are not gentle rinse aids. These are concentrated bleaching agents designed to dissolve buildup fast. The label tells you to keep the tablets away from children. It warns against contact with eyes or skin. And then we drop this into the same drum where our clothes sit for an hour, pressed against our skin for the rest of the day. Think about that for a second. You would not soak your shirt in a bleach solution and then wear it to work, yet somehow dissolving a stranger's chemical tablet in the same water that rinses your underwear became the standard fix. The reason is simple. Appliance cleaner brands figured out that if they could convince you a monthly tablet subscription was the only fix, you would keep buying tablets instead of learning the habit that actually prevents the problem. Japan took a completely different path. In Japan, there is a word kabi that simply means mold, but the concern behind it runs much deeper than the word itself. Japan's climate includes a stretch of the year called tsuyu, the rainy season, when humidity sits high enough for weeks that mold becomes a constant, expected threat in every home, not an occasional accident. Because of that, an entire culture of moisture control habits developed generations ago, long before washing machines existed, and those same habits simply moved indoors once appliances did. This is not abstract philosophy. It shows up in practical, visible ways. In a Japanese home, a washing machine lid is almost never closed the moment the cycle ends. It stays propped open, letting air move through the drum instead of trapping the exact humidity that mold needs to grow. Bath towels are wrung out and hung to dry the same day, never left balled up on a hook. Entryways have a dedicated shoe cabinet, specifically so damp shoes do not sit closed up against a wall. None of this is about scrubbing harder once a problem shows up. It is about never giving moisture the still, dark, closed environment it needs in the first place. Soji, the everyday word for cleaning, carries this same idea. It is rooted in the belief that maintaining a space is a continuous practice, not an occasional emergency response. Now take that philosophy and apply it to the machine sitting in your laundry room. In a Japanese household, a washing machine does not reach the point where the seal needs a chemical tablet to save it. The habit happens after every single load, and it is embarrassingly simple. Here is the habit. The moment a wash cycle finishes, before you even pull your clothes out, take a dry cloth and wipe around the inside of the rubber door seal in one full circle. That is it. 15 seconds, maybe 20. Then leave the door propped open instead of pushing it shut. The water that would otherwise sit trapped against warm rubber for days, quietly growing mold, gets wiped away and air dried before it has the chance. It is the same principle as toweling off after a shower. Instead of letting yourself air dry in a closed, steamy bathroom, the moisture has to go somewhere, and giving it somewhere to go is the entire trick. But what about the rest of us who are staring at a gasket that has not been wiped in 6 months, or 12 months, or honestly, ever? That is where the deeper method comes in, and it uses nothing you cannot find in your kitchen cabinet right now. The first and most effective method is the hot vinegar reset. Pour 2 cups of plain distilled white vinegar directly into the drum, not the detergent drawer, straight into the machine itself. Then run the hottest, longest cycle your machine has, completely empty, no clothes, no detergent. While that cycle runs, this is where the real transformation happens. Hot water combined with the acidity in vinegar breaks down the built-up detergent film, fabric softener residue, and mineral deposits that have been layering onto the drum and hoses for months, all without a single harsh fume filling your laundry room. Once the cycle finishes, do not open the door yet. This next part is where most people quit early, and it is the part that actually matters. Take an old toothbrush and a small dish of baking soda mixed with just enough water to form a paste. You want a consistency like wet sand, not a runny liquid. If it drips off the brush the moment you lift it, add more baking soda. If it will not spread at all, add a few more drops of water. Pull back the rubber gasket around the door opening. This is the part almost nobody actually cleans because it looks fine from the outside. Underneath that fold is usually where the real buildup lives, a dark, damp pocket that never fully dries between washes. Work the baking soda paste into that hidden fold with the toothbrush, scrubbing in small circles. You will likely see gray or black residue lifting away almost immediately, and that discoloration is exactly what you want to see. It means the paste is doing its job. For any detergent drawer residue you notice at the same time, the same brush and paste combination works there too. Once you have worked through the entire gasket fold, wipe the area down with a clean, damp cloth, then run a second short rinse cycle with nothing added, just to flush any loosened residue completely out of the drum before your next real load. When you open the door after that second cycle, you will notice the difference before you even look closely. That faint, musty smell that you had stopped consciously noticing is simply gone, because the standing moisture and buildup that caused it is gone with it. No fumes, no headache, no chemical residue sitting against the fabric of your next load. If your machine is a front loader, there is one more spot worth checking while you are in there. A small access panel near the bottom front, usually behind a little flap, hiding a drain filter that catches coins, lint, and small debris. Twist it open carefully over a shallow towel, since a small amount of trapped water will come with it. Empty out whatever has collected, rinse the filter under the tap, and twist it back into place. Most people never open this panel in the entire life of the machine. There is a second habit that works beautifully as ongoing prevention rather than a rescue. This is the monthly baking soda refresh. Once a month, sprinkle half a cup of baking soda directly into the empty drum, add no detergent, and run a normal warm cycle wash with nothing else inside. The baking soda circulates through the entire system as the cycle runs, gently breaking down the thin layer of residue that builds up between deep cleans long before it has any chance to turn into the kind of buildup that needs a toothbrush and elbow grease. This technique is perfect for maintaining a machine that has already been through the deep vinegar reset. Run it monthly, keep the after every wash wipe going, and you will likely never need the full hot vinegar treatment again unless the machine sits unused for an extended stretch. There is also a simple rescue for the moment you catch a musty smell early, before it has time to become a real problem. Grab a spray bottle filled with plain white vinegar from under your sink. Open the machine, spray the rubber gasket generously, focusing on the fold where moisture tends to collect, and let it sit for 2 full minutes. Then wipe the entire seal down with a dry cloth. The acidity kills the surface level mold and bacteria, causing the smell almost immediately before it has a chance to set into the rubber itself. 60 seconds of spraying, 2 minutes of waiting, 1 wipe. The problem never gets the chance to become the kind of buildup that needs a deep clean at all. This is the entire philosophy in practice. Prevent instead of rescue. Wipe instead of scrub. A 15-second habit instead of a monthly chemical tablet. Let us talk about the detergent drawer for a moment, because this detail separates a machine that looks clean from one that actually is. Pull the drawer completely out, Most slide free with a small button or lever at the back. Check your manual if it resists. Soak it in a sink of hot water with a squirt of dish soap for 10 minutes. Then use that same toothbrush to scrub along the internal channels where fabric softener tends to cake into a waxy blue-green residue. While the drawer soaks, do not skip the empty slot it leaves behind. Wipe inside that cavity with a damp cloth, since this is a second hidden spot that almost never gets touched and often hides the same buildup as the gasket fold. Slide the clean, dry drawer back into place, and the small chemical smell you may have stopped noticing near your machine will disappear along with it. Now, let us address the feature most modern washing machines advertise as the fix for all of this: the self-clean or tub clean cycle. On paper, it sounds like the perfect solution. Push a button, walk away, come back to a clean machine. But read the actual manual, and most manufacturers quietly recommend running that cycle with a cleaning tablet or descaling agent added, meaning the cycle on its own is mostly just an extended hot rinse with no real cleaning agent behind it unless you buy the tablets anyway. It does nothing for the gasket fold, since the cycle only moves water through the drum and hoses, never physically reaching into that hidden pocket the way a cloth or toothbrush can. Worse, some owners report the agitation from a tub clean cycle can loosen old buildup without fully flushing it out, temporarily making the smell worse rather than better. The Japanese approach skips all of this. No subscription tablets, no extended cycle running on electricity and water for nothing, no guessing whether it actually worked. Let us put together a complete routine that takes almost no time at all. After every single wash, before you even unload your clothes, wipe the rubber seal dry and prop the door open. 15 seconds. Once a month, run the empty baking soda refresh cycle. 5 minutes of your time, the machine does the rest. Every 3 to 4 months, pull the detergent drawer and give it a proper soak and scrub. 10 minutes. If you ever catch a musty smell creeping in between those deep cleans, the 60-second vinegar spray handles it immediately. Follow this and you may never need the full hot vinegar gasket reset again unless the machine already had months of buildup when you started. If you skip a few weeks here and there and notice buildup returning, that deep reset is always there as your safety net. Here is what this routine actually costs. A large jug of distilled white vinegar runs about $3 at the grocery store and covers several months of both the deep reset and the emergency spray bottle. A box of baking soda costs about $1 and lasts even longer, covering the monthly refresh cycles for the better part of a year. An old toothbrush costs nothing, since you already have one retired in a drawer somewhere. Compare that to washing machine cleaning tablets, which run between $7 and $12 for a box of 3, and most brands recommend replacing them monthly. A household that switches from tablets to this routine saves somewhere between $60 and $100 a year. Not life-changing money, but enough to notice. And there is a second kind of savings that does not show up on a receipt, knowing there is no bleach-based tablet dissolving in the same water that rinses your children's clothes every week. That part is worth more than the dollar figure. The deeper lesson here is not really about vinegar or baking soda or a 15-second wipe. It is about the relationship between small daily habits and the problems that never get the chance to happen. A closed, humid space with nowhere for moisture to go is not a washing machine problem specifically. It is the exact same principle behind mold in a gym bag, mildew in a reusable water bottle, or a musty smell in a car with the windows always shut. The Japanese approach does not wait for the smell to show up before addressing it. Soji is not about scrubbing harder once something goes wrong. It is about wiping sooner and giving moisture somewhere to go before it becomes a problem worth noticing at all. Apply that one shift to your washing machine and the difference is remarkable. No more bracing yourself before you open the door. If this changed how you think about your washing machine, subscribe. Next week, we are covering the Japanese method for keeping a dishwasher spotless without the pods everyone assumes you need. If you want to see the hot vinegar reset in action from start to finish, that video is on screen right now.